the longer you live, the more you realize that reality is just a pain, suffering, and emptiness. Hmm. It's kind of weird because I could have sworn that was kind of connected with the Pain, Yahiko, and Conan era. But let's go ahead and get into this. This is Naruto Chapter Review 606. Overall, I will have to say this was a wonderful, wonderful chapter. A lot of people, I've been watching a lot of people's reviews, they were saying that they don't understand the whole concept of Rin, and it's kind of a cop out in a sense. Let me just go ahead and explain this. Um, I don't know if you guys have ever been in love, or you ever loved a woman, or if you guys have ever been into a relationship where you felt like you wanted to give your all, or you would give your all for that person. Um, if that person dies for any type of reason, you're going to have some type of resentment, especially if she was killed by one of your best friends. You're going to have some type of resentment towards that. Whether you want to take it upon your own actions to seek revenge for them, or else you want to contact the authorities or something like that, you're going to have some type of resentment towards that person, and you're not going to be buddy buddy with them. And it's going to change. Not to mention, if you don't have any friends, no one to talk to about this, you're all alone, you're outcast, and you're by yourself, you're going to be alone. You have no one to turn to. This is the same situation in this chapter. Obito has no one to turn to at this particular time. He's all by himself. The person who he was with at the time, who told him that Kakashi and Rin were at a certain point within the Hidden Mist Village, was Madara and Kabuto. Not Kabuto, but excuse me, Zetsu. And when he went to this place that we saw in the last chapter, he saw that Rin was killed by Kakashi. Kakashi was doing his Chiyoda Araki straight through her heart, or chest, or breast, or whatever you want to call it. So that's devastating to a person. So in this chapter, you see Obito walk over Kakashi and walk towards Rin. He holds Rin tight and he says, "I'm sorry that this happened. I'll never let it happen again." So you also see within this chapter that there is a plan that Obito is trying to make, and this plan is to create is to, I guess, bring things back into reality, or make a perfect world where everything is still. And he wants to use this by a moon, but he doesn't know exactly how to do this. Now, this is where it's explained. This is the reason why Obito, the guy behind the mask, Toby, wants to create this idea. If he does this, he can make his own reality, in a sense. And his own reality can be whatever he wants. It's called a genjutsu. It's making stuff that's not real, again. So, he can make a world where Ren is alive again. And Kakashi is supposedly good. And he didn't commit that crime. But what he doesn't tell him is that the genjutsu is for a certain amount of time. But, we're not going to get into that in this video. We'll talk about that in a later video. So, Madara also explains the whole fact of the ghetto Mozu, or Mazu, whatever. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that. But that's basically that big old type Godzilla looking figure that you saw. And he also told him that to gather energy, it's in a cocoon type cell, which is a Hoshirama cell, which was the same thing that Obito was wrapped around in. You also learn in this chapter that Zetsu, his black half is made from Madara. So that's kind of a quote on energy in a sense. That energy, or that other half of Madara, is a symbolism or a symbol of, or the other half of Zetsu is a symbol of Madara. So a lot of us didn't know that. A lot of us kind of speculated it, but it came out within this chapter that that's it. Now, another thing I learned within this chapter, I was reading it, also checking the comment sections, they were saying that the Nagato clan was kind of connected with the Uzumaki clan, which we did kind of learn that back in the day, but just seeing this in this chapter kind of re-emphasized that whole thing. I think that's going to be very cool later on. We'll probably learn even more about that. We also learned that in this chapter, again, we know this, but it's just confirming this whole thing, that the eyes of Madara were, or the Rinnegan was given to Nagato. Nagato didn't already have them. They were given to Nagato, and he was able to use it from there. So technically, those were Madara's eyes. Now, I think somewhere in the chapter, it was something along the lines of, you know, well, not in this chapter, but he said he wanted to get his eyes back, and nonetheless, those are his Rinnegan. So I think that he's definitely well. He already has those back. So it's so those eyes are technically his. Those eyes are technically his. We learned that was actually true. Um, and towards the end, we finally see someone take action. Said, "I'm going out into the battlefield." Now, a lot of people are speculating two different things as well too. They're saying it's not Obito, but it is Obito. That's Obito going into the battlefield. You see the Sharingan and everything. He's going into the battlefield to fight. Now, I could be wrong. It could be someone else, but my speculations is that's Obito going to the battlefield because he's finally decided that he wants nothing to do with the Hidden Leaf Village. He wants nothing to do with him. He's done. He's finished. He's completely done with them. After he saw what Kakashi did, no, he wants to have nothing to do with him. So overall, I think this chapter was very good. It answered a lot of questions that I had personally. I think it answered it. A lot of people, they're not gonna like it. They may not like it, but I think it was a very good chapter. Very straightforward, no filler, just answering questions, which is just what I like with this chapter. Now, my thing is, what is your guys' thoughts? What do you think he should have changed? What should have been different? Or all that type of stuff, all that jazz. So just go ahead and leave your thoughts, comments down below in the comment section. Check you guys later in another video. Peace. Sayonara. Stay gold.